Troops repel Boko Haram attack in Borno. 3 soldiers and several terrorists killed. Delta bus mishap, 5 feared dead, 20 missing. CBN hikes interest rates to record 27.5%. And on the foreign scene, Libyan authorities detain over 300 irregular migrants in desert crackdown. Welcome to News Updates on Trust TV. My name is Liliana Gazi. And now to the news. Troops of the multinational Joint Task Force have repelled a Boko Haram attack on Kukawa town located near Lake Chad in Borno State. The clash resulted in the death of many terrorists along with 3 soldiers, while several others sustained injuries. It was gathered that insurgents who had reportedly fled a Chadian military offensive and taken refuge in remote villages within Kukawa local government area launched an assault early Sunday morning. Locals said the attackers stormed the town around 4:30 a.m., burning public infrastructure, looting food supplies, and forcing hundreds of villagers to flee. A civilian Joint Task Force member revealed that the battle raged for over 24 hours before the attackers were overpowered on Monday morning. The Chief Military Information Officer of MNJTF headquarters in N'Djamena, Chad, Lieutenant Colonel Olani Osoba, confirmed in a statement that Sector 3 troops effectively countered the Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists using coordinated airstrikes, artillery bombardment, and ground operations. Borno State Governor Professor Babangana Zulum Umar commended the military for repelling the terrorist attack in Kukawa and urged residents to support the armed forces with actionable intelligence. Moving on, 3 farmers have been hospitalized following machete wounds they sustained during a clash with suspected herders in Wushishi local government area of Niger State. One of the farmers, Bala Mohammed, said they were attacked with machetes by herders while trying to stop them from encroaching into their rice farms. He said the suspected herder that committed the crime has been arrested and is in police custody. When contacted, the spokesman of the State Police Command, SP Wasiu Abiodu, confirmed the incident but said only 2 farmers were injured. Police operatives have arrested a man in possession of a gun wrapped in a bag of rice in Anambra State. A statement by the Anambra State Police Public Relations Officer, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, in Awka on Tuesday, said a suspect, Enediong Basi, a native of Ikono, local government area of Akwa Ibom State, was arrested after he confessed to being a member of a local vigilante group. According to the statement, the police recovered 1 pump-action gun wrapped in a bag of rice at Nkwele, Ezunka. Ikenga said the Commissioner of Police, CP Nango Bonoitam, in line with the principles of community policing, has reiterated the calls for profiling of security operatives, assisting the police and other security agencies on anti-crime operations to improve safety in the state. The CP also ordered the immediate transfer of the suspect to anti-robbery squad of the command for comprehensive investigations. Five people have been reported dead, while 6 were injured and 20 persons still missing after a devastating boat accident in Warri South local government area of the state. The spokesman of the Delta State Police Command, Edafe Bright, who confirmed the incident, disclosed that the 6 injured persons are receiving medical treatment at an undisclosed hospital in Warri. The tragic incident involved a collision between 2 speedboats conveying family members returning from a burial ceremony. The impact caused the boats to capsize, plunging passengers who were mostly without life jackets into the water. In October, scores of persons died in Niger State when a boat capsized as a result of overloading. The boat was carrying over 300 passengers when it capsized at the notorious Bajibo River in Mokwa local government area of the state. Ebonyi State Governor Francis Wifuru on Monday suspended the Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development, Francis Ori, and his counterpart in charge of Health, Dr. Moses Ekuma, for 3 months. The Commissioner for Information and State Orientation, Jude Chikadibia, made this known while briefing journalists on Tuesday morning. He said the suspensions were reached at the State Executive Council meeting held on Monday. Also suspended by the State Governor on Tuesday were the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Lawrence Ezeoki, the Executive Secretary of the State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Philip Ofuba, and his counterpart from the Ebonyi State Health Insurance Agency, Ebisha Divine Igwe. This has brought a total of 5 commissioners suspended within a 1-month interval. Chikadibia explained that the reason for their suspension were gross misconduct and dereliction of duties. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has voted unanimously to increase benchmark interest rates by 25 basis points to 27.50% from 27.25%. All 23 members of the committee were in attendance and voted unanimously for the raise. The members also voted to retain the asymmetric corridor around the MPR at plus 500 and minus 100 basis points. The meeting was held on the backdrop of renewed inflationary pressures as the headline food and core measures rose year on year in October 2024. Reading out the decision of the committee, the CBN Governor Olayemi Kadosu said the committee was particularly concerned that all 3 measures also inched up on a month-on-month basis, suggesting the persistence of price pressures with attendant adverse impact on income and welfare of citizens. Members therefore agreed unanimously to remain focused on addressing price developments. Four Nigerians have been arrested by Libyan authorities for alleged drug trafficking and testing positive for infectious diseases. A statement on Monday by Migrant Rescue Watch and advocacy group via a post on X said they were arrested in Sabha and Bani Walid. Bani Walid, located south of Tripoli, is known as a transit hub for migrants attempting to cross into Europe. In Sabah, the Criminal Investigation Department conducted a raid on the premises of 2 Nigerian suspects and seized 1,200 halogenic pills alongside other illicit substances. Both suspects were handed over to the Sabah Security Directorate for further investigation. In a separate incident, 2 Nigerians, a male and female, were detained in Bani Walid during a routine health screening after testing positive for infectious diseases. The Directorate for Combating Illegal Migration in Bani Walid transferred the suspect to Tripoli, Libya's capital, for further processing and eventual repatriation to Nigeria. Following persistent flood challenges that have negatively impacted lives in Jigawa State, international humanitarian organizations have pledged their support to help the state government tackle the recurring disaster. UNICEF, the Red Cross, and the European Union have agreed to collaborate with Jigawa State to implement sustainable solutions that address devastating effects of annual flooding. The reports.
Report from the State Emergency Management Agency revealed that this year's floods affected over 15,000 households and destroyed approximately 7,000 hectares of farmland, leaving many farmers stranded. To mitigate the impacts of such disasters and foster long-term resilience, the Jigawa State government has reached out to both national and international organizations for assistance. The partnership with these international organizations offers technical and financial support aimed at reducing the frequency and impact of floods in Jigawa, while equipping the affected communities with strategies to rebuild and adapt. During a visit from representatives of the EU, Red Cross, and UNICEF, the State Deputy Governor, representing Governor Malam Umar Namadi, expressed gratitude for their commitment and assured them of the government's commitment to utilizing their support effectively to address the issue.
School inbox and cash mandated to all the victims of the flood disaster within the state. Our prayer here by the government is we are happy with the reforms and reform initiative in the state. The government, under the able leadership of the executive governor of the state, has directed me to express his deep appreciation to UNICEF, ECHO, and the Red Cross for the numerous project initiatives in the state.
To monitor the disaster preparedness and shock responsive social protection initiative, we have started implementing actually late last year. When we started with the disaster preparedness workshop with SEMA, and then this year during the floods we had a cash transfer to 4,800 flood affected people.
The delegation plans to tour flood-prone areas across the Ghana states to assess the impacts firsthand and ensure that interventions are tailored to the needs of affected communities.
Moving on, Borno State's First Lady, Lady Falamata Zulum, has called on religious and traditional leaders as well as other stakeholders to join the fight to end gender-based violence in the country. Zulum, who also encouraged victims to voice out abuse against them, made the call during the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence for 2024 held in Maiduguri. The report.
Recent records of gender-based violence indicate a 5% increase in reports of GBV incidents compared to previous years in northeastern Nigeria. Borno leads other states like Adamawa with 10% and Yobe at 6%. The rise is attributed to conflict, displacement, instability, and climate change. This year's 16 days of activism against GBV with the theme Tracing the Roots, Standing Against Gender-Based Violence amplifies awareness to educate communities, break the culture of silence, and encourage behavioral change.
UNICEF stands very friendly with the government and all other partners to ensure that we continue to ensure accountability in this process and to increase investment in education for girls, because it is very important in ensuring that girls, violence against girls is ensured and girls have the opportunity to advance in education.
Addressing the root causes of GBV, which also includes power imbalances, toxic masculinities, cultural norms, economic vulnerabilities, are key to success. So GBV subsector partners have been addressing these root causes over the years through interventions on prevention to gender-based violence, by community awareness and education, economic empowerment, and providing life-saving and comprehensive gender-based violence services in the Northeast.
Zulum urged stakeholders to join the fight against gender-based violence and build a society rooted in peace, equity, and justice.
Socioeconomic inequalities, lack of access to education and health care, and limited economic opportunities contribute to women's vulnerability to violence. Empowering women economically and socially is crucial to reducing their risk. The 16 days of activism are a crucial moment for us to reflect, strategize, and renew our commitment to eliminating gender-based violence. The Borno State Ministry of Women Affairs and I are proud to partner with numerous organizations and partners towards this goal.
Strengthening the legal framework, ensuring that perpetrators are held accountable and survivors receive justice and protection. VAP and the child rights law are domesticated in Borno State. And since those laws came to, we have witnessed a lot of conviction in collaboration with FIDA, Ministry of Justice, our traditional rulers and traditional leaders, and of course the security agency, especially the Nigerian police, where we have gender desks in every of the divisions.
It is expected that after the event, stakeholders will engage in campaigns against GBV in a bid to reduce the alarming cases of GBV across the Northeast. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
This is news update coming to you from Trust TV. Coming up, Gombe metal scrap dealers decry non-existent collection center, seeks government intervention. More news when we return. Do stay. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is news updates coming to you from Trust TV. Let's take a look at our headline stories again. Troops repel Boko Haram attack in Borno. 3 soldiers and several terrorists killed. CBN hikes interest rates to record 27.25%. Now moving on to other stories, the National Assembly management has debunked the reports making the round that President Bola Tinubu is presenting the 2025 budget proposal to the joint sitting of the National Assembly on Wednesday, November 27th. This was contained in a statement signed by the Director of Information, Audu Bulabila, on behalf of the Secretary of Research and Information. According to the statement, the National Assembly is yet to approve the 2024 to 2026 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper forwarded to both chambers of the National Assembly by the President before the official presentation of the 2025 budget. The statement warned peddlers of such information to desist forthwith from using the Office of the Secretary, Research and Information to mislead members of the public. It advised that any official inquiry and clarification should follow the official communication channels of the National Assembly. Metal scrap dealers in Gombe State have called on the government to provide a central location where they can operate collectively. According to them, this will help regulate their business and address growing concerns about stolen items being sold as scraps on the streets of Gombe. Trust TV's Hassan Koli has more on this.
Metal scrap business has for years been a vital source of income for many, but it is not without challenges. Among those challenges are concerns raised by dealers about the reputation of their trade being tarnished on the allegation that they buy stolen items. They believe the solution lies in operating from a central government-approved location. We are honest business people, but because there is no proper structure, some bad elements are taking advantage. If the government can give us a central yard, we will monitor ourselves and ensure stolen items are not bought or sold. There is a serious need for us to monitor what is bought or sold, and this can only be achieved if we converge at the same location. Currently, scrap dealers operate in scattered locations across the state. This makes it difficult for authorities to monitor their trade effectively. The dealers believe a centralized operational place will not only curb illegal activities but also boost the legitimacy of their business. Government has to come in and regulate our business, since we are dealing with scrap items and we are generating a lot of the scrap. Besides, we are providing not less than 10,000 people with employment. I am urging the youth not to engage in any act of buying or selling stolen items, and we are monitoring to ensure that it does not happen here. However, government must intervene. Scrap dealers are hopeful that the Gombe state government will heed their call. They believe that by working together in a regulated environment, they will not only protect their business, but also support the fight against theft in the community and boost internally generated revenue for the state government. From Gombe, Hassan Koli reporting for Trust TV.
Now away from Nigeria, more than 300 migrants have been arrested in Libya's desert by the 444th Brigade. The powerful militia group that operates under the auspices of the Libyan army said in a statement Monday that its patrolling commanders detained the migrants and referred them to authorities. The group in a post on Facebook condemned smuggling and human trafficking, said its patrols would sustain efforts to block smuggling routes. The nationality of the migrant was not immediately clear. The 444 Brigade posted satellite images of the desert and pictures of what appeared to be migrants sitting in rows in front of armed and masked militants. The apprehension comes as Libya remains the primary point of departure for men, women and children from the Middle East and Africa, aiming to reach Europe. And in sports, Rivers Hoopers head coach Ogo Odudu has vowed to improve the outing of his side in the 2025 Basketball African League BAL. The Kingsmen were crowned champions in Port Harcourt for the 2024 Nigerian Basketball League. Oduadu believes Rivers Hoopers have what it takes to go beyond the third place finish it achieved in the last ball campaign. The team is expected to open its camp in Port Harcourt early next year ahead of the BAL Conference Finals scheduled for April next year. The 2025 BAL season will feature the top 12 club teams from 12 African countries playing 48 games in Rabat, Morocco, Dakar, Senegal, Kigali, Rwanda, and Pretoria, South Africa. With that, we've come to the end of News Update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms for news, programs, and documentary. Thank you for watching. I am Lilian Ogazi. Bye for now.